Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. All Things Middle-earth here with episode 3 from our server, number 5411, I think, maybe 4511. I'm not sure. It's in the title. It's episode 3 though. Our last video was kind of a gear contemplation video talking about different ideas I had for what to do with my gear. With our reports, we're not seeing the best luck. I will preface, well, I'll do a couple of prefaces. Number one, we're facing this team Bear and Arnor, who is, in my opinion, a very whaled and leveled team. I'm now up to 44. Look out, world. Here I come. And we're seeing a lot of stuff like this. Zenith 7, full might set. You get the best in slot weapon and accessory fully refined. You have a relic fully refined. This is just one guy. But again, you definitely see kind of a theme with the different pieces of gear and how powerful they are. They're pretty darn good. And that seems to be more consistent. Again, higher levels. You got Zenith across the board. You got great gear. So hey, first of all, shout out to Bear. They got some great guys. I don't expect to be winning these trades, but when you're getting beat, 7,000 to, 1,000 damage dealt, this is pretty brutal. So I want to see if I can move in the right direction, if that makes any sense. So again, in our last video, we talked through some different options. I've made some decisions. My other preface with all of this, as Java has a new update, which I thought Java was gone forever. Anyway, the whole preface with this too, it's gear we're talking about. So at least if we do this over time, we're going to be using hammers and we're going to be able to undo and redo anything we do. Now, obviously, I want to find a sweet spot and move in that direction, refining more gear, getting more respect. But for now, we're kind of just playing around, having some fun, trying different things. So I'm not too worried about it either way. But that's kind of the intro. I don't know. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to change the gear, show you what the plan is, show you what kind of we might be subbing out for different commanders in our formation. And then hopefully, maybe if we're lucky, I'll get a little hit here and it'll go amazingly well. Just kidding, that's not going to happen, but we can dream, right? So anyway, let's roll the intro and then jump into the actual video. Also, if you missed the last or second to last video, I did a quick update and I'll do a 10-second PSA for the month of January and beyond until they confirm it otherwise. The top-up links are no longer going to support creators right now. It's on pause. That could come back. I don't know. But again, if the top-up link is still a cheaper way for you to purchase stuff in the game and you want to do that, by all means, please do that. But if one of the reasons you were using it was to support myself, or if you used a different link to support a different creator, just trying to make the PSA that right now in January, it's not going towards your favorite creator. Again, if you want to see Netties doing more for and with content creators, I personally would kind of just chill out and spending until they make an announcement. But again, it's your money. I'm not going to tell you what to do with it. But I have pumped my top-up link and many have supported and used it. So just always trying to make that clear and kind of whatever. So that's my little top-up link garbage. Now, unfortunately for me, although I'm pretty close to the front, so it's not a long march, I do have to go home or at least to a fort to change around the gear that I have on. So I'm going to do that really quickly. Now, the different options we talked about were, or here's the problem. The problem, should I put text on the screen that says the problem? No, I'm not going to do it. The issue for me was I'm using unit defense gear on Sauron, on Gil. I'm using Sauron as my taunt with trolls or great beasts. It didn't make sense to have Gil doing that too. There were some comments saying, yeah, this unit defense is great, run your trolls on Gil or whatever. But to me, then that makes Sauron kind of obsolete. There were a few comments about saying, hey, still run Sauron with focus gear and higher focus. Deceiver still modified by focus. So you could run higher focus gear like what I have on Sistara, for example. I could put all this on Sauron, run the Deceiver, and then run Gorthar and Lord of Gifts as a way to have him deal some more damage. That's kind of a hybrid option for Sauron, which actually, as I'm saying that, I'm like, I don't hate that idea, but I've been so back and forth on Sauron that I kind of want to stick to trying something like the unit defense with him. He also has the highest command in the game. So assuming I find a sweet spot for my gear, like this Reckoning, it can be refined 1, 2, 3, or wait, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.75 times. I can almost max refine my Reckoning. So assuming I like what I'm doing, I can get more command on Sauron, which then increases his damage reduction, blah, 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 whatever. Obviously, Gil has pretty high command as well, so it goes both ways, but I do have less ideal gear. Like I don't have, I think I have one other of these Langs, if that, it's somewhere hidden. So again, we're going to hang with Sauron as our unit defense, kind of tank, whatever. The issue was that it felt like Gil was doing the same thing without a taunting troop. Didn't make sense. So We're going to put unit attack gear on Gil. We're going to try different combinations of troops. Most notably, we're going to be doing March Wardens because we are playing as Lothlorien. So I think it's the best unit to try and do some damage with. I understand that it's not going to be amazing. I understand it's not a unit defense game or a unit attack game anymore. But I think out of everyone, they make the most sense. They're actually not, terrible on like HP and defense. So I'm not opposed to it. Not to mention, I do see other guilds, and so the fact that we'd be running Keen Eye, that doesn't hurt us as well. So we're gonna run some March Wardens. I have almost 15,000, so we're gonna get those going and try it. The other reason that we're running unit attack gear on Gil is because we're gonna run the same thing on Witch King in our second formation. We don't have a tier 4 troop to use with him that's gonna be as cool, I don't think. So we need to figure out what exactly to do with him, but we are gonna try some version of Black Captain, more of a support role with him as well. Undying is going to be our tank using Sauron's gear, and then we're going to have our damage dealers in that lineup. The third option, or four, I don't even know, we're all over the place. The other option, if Gil just isn't going to work, which again, it feels redundant not to use him in Lothlorien, but the other option is I can just plug someone like Sistaro in. I had a lot of people mentioning to use Shadow, which I love Shadow. He's great for clearing White Council. I just don't have a second pair of physical damage gear. If I break down Dane's gear or spread things out, it's just going to be, I think both are going to be mediocre. Whereas I just prefer to run Sistaro, who is at Z2, and I've heard decent things about. He has the relic. He's a little bit refined. He would be the other option if Gil just isn't working. So some combination of those things are going to happen. If we do, in fact, move Sistaro up to the A squad, then we'll move Skullhelm into the B squad to take his spot using his gear. The idea is to have multiple squads we can use with the exact same gear, since we don't have the kind of account that can just go nuts with it. So anyway, that's a whole lot of talking as usual. I mean, come on, if you've been around at all, you know that we just talk around here and kind of play the game. I'm going to break down the gear in 2 seconds. I'm going to do like a double check, but I'm going to break the gear down and put the attack gear on Gil. Now, the other option I kind of had thrown it out there as well, with like Gandalf, like, is it worth getting more focus on Gandalf the White by putting the Grey Wizard hat that Sistaro has on, which would increase it by 30. It's like this is the highest focus you could have on your Gandalf the White, just with base gear. And then also putting the better unit defense pieces on Sauron. This breaks up my sets, which I don't love, but I'm also wondering how important that is. And then we'd break down the remaining pieces, which we have here to go for the attack gear. Again, the difference we're getting with the call is initiative, which, as I've stated over and over again, I just do not think is as important anymore. So now that I have this here, I am honestly tempted just to leave it like this and take the higher unit defense. I also have quite a few Cask of the Smirched Isle, so I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, same thing. I'm 1 away from max refinement on both Reckoning and Cask, so that's very, very good command. Harp, Silver Harp. I don't know if I have other harps laying around. That might be in something else, so we'd have to check that out. But we could potentially get very high command, so I might check effects and see if there's any way if I could put together an effect, like if I have Fortitude on a... I'd be kind of surprised if I did, but I'm going to check effects really quick, but I think I am just going to pull the trigger and go with a higher command, higher unit defense, instead of having just like a tiny amount of initiative and focus. I think if I was going to do focus with Deceiver, I would just go all for it, but I know it doesn't modify well. So final answer, I think we're going to do this. I'm not going to stretch about the set too much, but I will check and see if I can do anything here. I am going to go higher focus here for better White Council, which keeps the set. And then, I mean, this is still a set to, I guess this is where I look and see if I have another Grey Wizard hat, if I want more focus and I don't want to worry about initiative. Stay tuned. I'm going to check my spreadsheet, but more or less, this stuff is going to get broken down with hammers. Okay, just an update. I was checking for Sistaro to see if I had a Grey Wizard hat that I could run on him. I don't have a Grey Wizard hat with this set I'm looking for, because it would be cool to run a full Lore of the Arcane set. However, I did have a Call of the Forest with Lore of the Arcane, so I'm 3 out of 4. And wouldn't you know it, I don't have a Spine Smoking Pipe or anything close to relevant that has Lore of the Arcane. So this is probably as good as it gets for him if I'm leaving that on Sistaro, which he's in the B squad anyway, but just quick update there. Okay, and probably final update before I actually break the stuff down. I know I'm dragging it out. I don't really have anything viable for this second half set or whatever. So again, if I happen to pull a Casket Smirched Isle with Fortitude, or I pull a Silver Harp with something else, that might be an option. And again, I could go through every single piece. I have a spreadsheet I'm going through right now. And there are other gear pieces that could make something work. And it just never seems like it's been worth it to break down the best piece of gear to match a set. Whereas I have the highest unit defense here with pretty good command, and I've got half a set. I think that's great for Sauron. So we're going to leave that as is. We're going to leave this as is and have the higher focus on Gandalf the White. Dane is obviously more than set. So now we're actually going to start moving gear around and breaking stuff down. I know I said that like 5 minutes ago, but now we're going to do it. All right, so we got Gigantic Hammer. We have, what are we running here? War Cry. This guy is Perseverance. And this guy is also War Cry, I believe. What am I looking for? There it is. Yep. So here is our set 2 and 2. Other than the accessory, which isn't technically best in slot, it's 3 out of 4 best in slot. And this is, I think, second for unit attack. I think second. So I'm pretty happy with that. Could also look to find refinement for this. I think that's going to go back burner behind like finding refinement for defensive gear and command. But this is what the actual set's going to be now. To again, I'm just not even going to say it because I've said it 5 times. We're going to break gear down now. Okay, in no particular order, breaking this guy down here. Here are a bunch of silver harps, which is actually good because we could go 1, 2, 3, again, 4 times refinement. We'll see what Sauron's command is at, but I mean, well, obviously we might need some of that for strengthening. That's the other question. Do I go 5 stars? Do I do 4 stars first and just see if that makes a difference? This is almost a piece that I could just like actually just scrap because this stuff's kind of crappy, but we're not going to scrap anything. We're going to actually do it with hammers. That way, just in case the entire game changes or I just made a huge mistake, I can at least undo it in like a season. That's the game plan. But if I go 4 stars strengthening on some of Gil's stuff, like really just the accessory, I think I have everything else I would need to like just refine outright. So considering that, but we'll see. Last piece here, breaking it down again. Nothing here is really great. All right, now again, I'm just going to snap my fingers and have everything fully strengthened here or close to it. So 3, 2, 1. All right, what a just beautiful transition, right? The eagle-eyed viewers will notice that my Orthanc Devilry is only at 4 stars. I can go to 5, but I would be strengthening away an extra refinement on a Silver Harp or Rivendell, which I don't know if I want to do yet. So hold on. This whole video is just me contemplating life. But here's the attack gear. It looks nice and shiny. You got a nice offensive sets across the board. In terms of the army that we're going to be running or the troops, whatever, we have Sauron. We're running Great Beasts. When we run out of Great Beasts, we'll run Trolls. I don't actually know if Great Beasts are better than Trolls. I kind of assumed they were because I feel like they taunt the whole battle as opposed to just the first 3 rounds. Let's see. Enemy formations prioritize attacks on this unit. 3 enemy. So for the most part, they tank. I think it's all attacks, not just normal attacks. They also boost range damage. They seem like the perfect unit for this. Trolls, first 3 rounds, each rounds, it's just normal attacks. So I really feel like the Great Beasts are better if you have them. And not being able to play quite as much as I like, I think it honestly makes sense just to run them and like run a better lineup when I can. Anyway, we're running the Great Beasts. Then, in terms of a unit that deals damage, I think we run these guys. They're 48 to 49 in 2 supply versus Bow Knights being... So, I mean, we're getting more damage for the same 2 supply. HP is a bit lower, but defense is higher. So 70 HP, 34 defense on the Bow Knight versus 66 and 50. You've got the Keen Eye. You've got the immune to stun. Defense stat goes up during battle, making them a bit tankier. We'll see how it actually plays out. But that's definitely that. The other question is then, do I just leave it here and hope that they deal some damage? I think so. I mean, obviously... Yeah, I think we do that. I think we keep the mounted and like just the extra HP like cheaper on those guys. So we've got kind of a smorgasbord of troops. The other question, which by the way, shout out to everyone who's been actually helpful. As I've said 50 bazillion times, and it's probably getting annoying. Was away from the game for closer to 6 months. Just trying to get eased back in while doing regular life, which is like how everyone else plays. So you guys are like, boo-hoo, you have a job. Just kidding, no one's actually said that. But like lots of people have like DM'd me after watching the video. Shout out to you guys who like either comment or in game are like, hey, try this. I've had success with this. I haven't had success with this. Enemies. Actually, honestly, more people that aren't on my team. Not to say my team hasn't been helpful. Like we have a Discord and I talk with them too. But lots of people that I'm fighting are like being helpful, which is that's one thing I like about this community. I feel like there's a lot of cool folks. So shout out to you guys. Skill wise for Gil, I've been messing around with this, and it seems silly not to run Kingly Ken when you're running elves. This would, for the first 2 rounds, give them a chance to evade. Now, is it redundant to run Kingly Ken when you have Great Beasts? Because ideally they're not taking hits anyway. So is it just being wasted? I should probably check some reports and see. If that is the case, then I think I just run Icicle to 5 because I heard that a bunch. That stun's really important. I then run High King, which is going to increase attack and defense for elves in 3 allied formations. Which, okay, I guess if it's for allied formations, it's not mine, I don't think. Unless it can. Oh, no, it increases number of effective. Okay, so it affects everybody. So getting a little bit more attack here. And then the question is, do I run Alliance Leader to put out a little bit more damage in my own formation? Modified by command stat. Now, obviously, this is where we're a little bit broke in terms of like refining options, especially if we want to go ahead and, I mean, we could do 1 there. Nothing here. I'd have to like see if I could get some more hammers and then get stuff out and move. It'd just be a lot. So I think that's probably staying the way it is. Sauron, however, we've got quite a bit of refinement. 1, 2 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars refinement. I think it's 4 here. And I think it's 4 here as well. So 3 pieces at 4 stars for Sauron just to boost his command. But I'm wondering if this makes sense with the taunt that I'm running. Or is this attack minuscule enough that I should not worry about it and I should just run Kingly Ken and Alliance Leader? Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. But that's what we're going to try first. I'm going to go back out here to my... I think I'll go to my fort. It's a little bit closer, so that should be a faster march. So I'm going to move here, see if I can get a hit. I expect to get just slaughtered again, but it'd be cool if I saw that Gil's formation was doing a little bit more damage. So we'll see how that goes. But that is kind of the gear change. And now, again, the nice thing is this exact gear is going to go on Witch King to test out some evil troops with him. Everything just goes down a row, basically, to the next formation. Shadow and Dane very easily share. Sistaro's kind of already set. That's another thing as well. Sistaro and Gandalf the White are kind of using the same gear, which, again, also feels silly. So I could, if and when I have more hammers, break down more gear because I don't technically need both of these sets, run the better one on the A squad, then swap it to the B squad, and then just have more gear to use for refinement on the main squad. I think that makes sense, and we will do that once we have more hammers. And honestly, the set on Sistaro is heavier on damage, which then begs the question. I have so many questions. Do I just run White Council and then the damage abilities and have Gandalf the White doing a little bit of hybrid stuff? I still feel like White Rider is worth running. I mean, that's 25% is a big damage increase, right? To 3 target formations, that seems worth it. And he's a support. But if we're running a 3 support, 1 damage lineup, does it make a little bit more sense to say you're kind of support, you're kind of hybrid? Gil, he's troop support, Sauron's just support. I don't know. Seriously, feel like I asked a million questions. So if you answer any of those in the comments, you're the best. If this made your head spin, I'm sorry. This is just how things go around here. So I'm happy, though, because I've been chomping at the bit to change the gear around. I have my second formation to 40, as you can see. Lookout World. So now I'm going to start crafting troops and seeing how that plays out. But I think we're out of hammers. We have 1 hammer left. So unless I buy the battle passes, which get me 4 more each, I believe, which I might end up doing. Unless I do that, we might be settled for now, which I think is fine. We'll do that for now and then see how we want to adjust, because I do think Sistaro and Gandalf the White using the same gear, basically. But I might run Sistaro in the same formation. Then I'd want the different gear. Anyway, this is all nonsense. I'm going to wrap it up here. This is basically episode 2, part 2, because it was just like the resolution of me asking what to do. Most people, to be honest, said just run another damage dealer. And I'm not ignoring it, I promise. I just want to see if there's any difference with what I'm doing with Gil. And if and when there is not, likely when there is not, I will just run Cestaro in that formation. But I'm just having fun. And that's what it's about, right? Having fun. I want to run Gil and see if he does anything at all with March Orders. We're going to have fun. So thank you guys for tuning in. Seriously, thank you for the support. You guys are the best. Next video will hopefully be a little bit more fighting, ? Maybe some better reports. Maybe a server update. I don't know. I did have a few people message as well saying like, hey, I'm in the server if you want updates. Like I couldn't even tell you who's winning this server right now. And I honestly, I feel like Mordor is strong. I think. Who are we playing with? Who's in this server? Show of hands. Hold on. I knew Toby was in here. What are they in Mordor? Yeah. I think Mordor's strong. Are they winning? Mordor, are you guys winning? Is there a winner? I don't know. Anyway, as you can tell, I'm lost. But my city's in the front line. I don't want my squad leader coming at me. I'm here. I'm fighting. We're having fun. I'm going to go now. You guys are the best. I'll talk to you later. That's it.